Call the November 15th board meeting to order. First thing on our agenda tonight will be the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a special guest going to lead us in the pledge tonight, Miss Bailey Drew Rooker.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bailey Drew. All right, join us in a moment of silence. All right, since we had our work session Tuesday night and discussed most of this, need a motion on the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. Next will be the approval of the consent agenda. Have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Visitors. I know we got one. Mr. Holliday.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Aaron Holliday. I live at 2034 Abingdon Drive in Laverne, Tennessee. It has been my pleasure to support the fine arts in Rutherford County Schools for some time, and I wanted to come and speak to the board for just a moment this evening about some wonderful performances that students will be participating in over the holiday season. Mrs. Lindsay Halford does an excellent job of collecting the dates and times of fine arts performances and publishing them on the school board system's website. I took the liberty of printing those calendars and have attached them to my comments for your review. I know that I find the joy of the season in the faces of our school children as they perform. In addition to that, I wanted to highlight a festival that you may not be aware of. I had the privilege to recruit some community sponsorship to help make this event possible. On Saturday, December the 8th, at Roy Waldron Elementary, on the stage that this board generously supported and our county commission was faithful to fund, there will be a junior theater festival. You might be familiar with the format of a marching band competition. This event is similar to that, but on the stage. Schools from as far away as Albertville, Alabama, travel in for the day to join with schools from Williamson, Davidson, and Rutherford counties to perform in front of judges that will offer expert feedback on their skills in the performing arts. This feedback is unique and not typically available to elementary or middle school students. The feedback is perfect information to help a student measure the appropriateness of selecting a fine arts pathway in their high school years. This opportunity is partly the result of the vision of our board in two specific ways. First, your wisdom to create and support the coordinator of fine arts position at the central office proclaims an endorsement for the arts education at every level of Rutherford County schools. Second, you have welcomed the performances of the Roy Waldron drama team into this boardroom under the direction of Dr. Joanne O'Kane and Mrs. Sharon Stickle. Such encouragement is one of the many factors that makes this event possible for so many of our students. Two classroom teachers with no reward beyond the love of inspiring the imagination of an adolescent mind have dedicated almost a decade of their lives to growing this program. In their Laverne classrooms, they routinely encounter students with open hearts and minds and a passion for the possibilities of tomorrow. Their struggle is to inspire imagination beyond the reality of a 900-square-foot home for four. For many of those students, a brighter tomorrow is first conceived on the stage. Hope for possibilities of what could be comes from playing the role of the doctor, the architect, or perhaps just the wonderful life of a happily married George and Mary Bailey in the sleepy old town of Bedford Falls. The inaugural Junior Theater Festival in Laverne, Tennessee is an event to be celebrated by our community and this board. The theater program at Roy Waldron Elementary is worthy of your continued endorsement, and I thank each of you for all you do to support the fine arts in Rutherford County.
Thank you, Mr. Holliday. I'll have to say that Mr. Holliday and I have run into each other several times at some of these events, and it is amazing what our children and our school system can do. All right, and we're going to show you how good it is in just a moment with spotlight on education. Mr. Burlock?
Yes, tonight we have the honor of having the Central Magnet String Band here tonight, and we'd like for Dr. Ash to come up before they perform and name the members of the quartet.
I'll let Ms. Wakiani. She's our strings teacher.
Thank you for having us. We have Isabella Reich on first violin, Madeline Mansfield on second violin, Caroline Vermolm on cello, and Will Henderson on viola. And would you like to tell them what you're going to perform?
Orlock, you get to follow that.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. It's great. All right, textbook selecting committees for 2018-19. You'll find those names on tab 2. The names and qualifications of the following individuals are being submitted for appointment to the 2018-19 Social Studies Instructional Materials Committee and the World Language Instructional Materials Committee upon board approval. The appropriate forms are included with the document, which includes the parents and the experts to serve on each respective committee. Recommend approval. These individuals submitted to serve on the 2018-19 Social Studies and World Language Instructional Materials Committee as presented.
Hey, any questions?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Go to facilities.
All right, facilities on tab 3, professional electrical engineering services proposal for LED lighting upgrade RFQ. Mr. Clardy requested a proposal from Oliver, Little, and Gibson Engineering, Inc. for electrical services to help prepare a request for qualifications and find qualified candidates for LED lighting upgrades at all Rutherford County schools and sports fields. OLG will help develop the request for qualifications for distribution by the Rutherford County Purchasing Department and evaluate each of the RFQ responses and take part in interviewing the RFQ finalists to help make the final decision for recommendation to the board. The cost of this proposal for engineering services is $10,800. This is a professional service. Motion to approve Oliver, Little, and Gibson Engineering for preparation of LED RFQ as presented for a total of $10,800.
Anyone have any questions, comments? Okay, if not, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, sir. Second? Thank you, ma'am. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Well, financial matters.
Financial matters. General Purpose School Budget Amendment, Fund 141, you'll find on tab 4. Rutherford County Schools received $12,992 in other state grants revenue for order to pay the stipend to the teachers who participated in the state portfolio peer review. Recommend to approve $12,992 in other state revenue in order to pay a stipend to the teachers who participated in the state's portfolio peer review as presented.
Questions, comments? Okay. Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge.
Second.
Mr. Jordan? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. This ought to be a good update. I know that some of our board members and staff spent almost 2.5, 3 hours of their life this afternoon listening to insurance. So Dr. Anthony, go right ahead.
Yes, so today we had our last meeting of this semester, and we recommended our broker to be Mercer. In the past, we've had Willis. And so Mr. Brown, who has been with our county before in a previous company, has returned, and he will be our selected broker for the upcoming year of 2019.
Anybody else got anything they want to say on insurance since you were there? All right, director's update.
Yeah, first of all, we'd like to recognize that Candace McQueen, our Commissioner of Education, did send out a communique today that she will be stepping down in January. We'd like to thank her for her service to our state public education, and we look forward to the new commissioner, whoever it may be. Now, there was two conflicting information. The governor did not mention anything about an interim, but she did mention in hers. I think the governor, Lee, will take over sometime in the third week of January, so I'm not quite sure if an interim will be appointed in that time frame. Also, reminder that December the 3rd at 6:30 at Stewart's Creek High School, we will have our next rezoning meeting. And on December the 10th at 5:30 at Siegel High School, we'll be having our town hall talks. This December 10th meeting will end for this semester, and we'll pick up in the next semester sometime in January.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, Ms. Morris, Tennessee Legislative Network.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I think I've kind of been remiss in not really reporting out on this but before tonight, but I think probably this is a good timely meeting because Mr. Spurlock stole part of my thunder. Obviously, it's worthy of reporting, although I think most everybody in this room at least is aware that the commissioner resigned her post today, I guess, and I'm like you, Mr. Spurlock, I don't understand why the governor would appoint someone for just a couple or a few weeks, so I don't really anticipate or see that happening. But I was fortunate yesterday, I want to share with everyone, that I got a phone call from one of our state representatives, Dr. Brian Terry, reaching out again, showing some great initiative to partner with us and asking if we would be willing to put together another joint school board. So when I say joint school board, I'm talking about the Rutherford County School Board in collaboration with the Murfreesboro City School Board. We have made it a practice over the past years to try to hold, if not every year, at least every other year, a meeting where the school boards get together with our local Rutherford County state legislators and talk about current upcoming educational issues, and we give them our thoughts and feelings on things so that we can kind of help enlighten them a little bit. I want to thank Dr. Terry publicly for the involvement that he has shown and for reaching out, because as the Tennessee legislative rep, I was a bit embarrassed that he called me before I called him, but that's okay. We do need to try to get this scheduled in December. We know schedules are very, very tight, so we're looking at dates right now, trying to figure out what will work best, so working with the chairman and our director to see what we can figure out. So hopefully we'll have something coming up that'll be announced very soon for a date in December. We do plan on hosting the meeting here at the Rutherford County Board offices, and already spoken with the chairman of the City School Board, Butch Campbell, and he's indicated that they're very excited about participating as well. I think this year is probably extremely important because of the fact that we're seeing so many changes at the state government level. First of all, as everybody knows, we have a new governor-elect, Bill Lee, who will take office in January. Lots of opportunity that I see there for those of us involved in education to be able to get his ear, that he recognizes that he's got a lot to learn and he's listening to people, and I'm seeing that happening, so I'm very, very encouraged by that. We would love to get him here for that meeting, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen, but I have been assured by a couple of folks in his camp that they will make sure that he watches the meeting and the exchange that we hold with our legislators. But in addition, of course, to our new governor, we also have a new state representative in Charlie Baum, who all of us know, of course, from the county commission, and Charlie has taken over the 37th district representative seat that Dawn White vacated when she moved to the Senate. So in addition to our new reps, we're also, there was a lot of upheaval and turnover within our state legislature in other districts as well. So we anticipate that we're going to be seeing changes in the education committees that obviously impact us tremendously. We're going to see changes in the committee members themselves, and we're probably going to see changes in the leadership of those committees as well. So Dr. Terry was, pointed out that obviously all the more reason for us to have an opportunity to start collaborating with our local representatives so that they can bring as much influence as they can to the new session this year. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
We alternate this meeting with back and forth between the city and the county.
we normally have in the past, Mr. Jordan. Yeah, I think because we have more room here and we anticipate that we might have a fairly sizable public turnout, And we have the capabilities, of course, to, obviously it'll be a public meeting, to have it televised as well. So Mr. Campbell and I discussed it and felt like it was best that we just go ahead and host it here this year again.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Hodge, Federal?
Well, I do have some, a couple pieces of information. Nothing new from NSBA. No new news from them, but I did get a couple pieces of information from that happened last week. One of them involves STEM program, which President Trump, he had originally gave a directive to put $200 million into it for the fiscal year 2018. As it turned out, the department put $279 million into it. So how that trickles down to us, I don't know, but they did a little bit more than what he was, I guess, asked them to do. But one thing that I did find interesting, there was a data story on STEM that said 80% of all the 8th graders attend a school that offers Algebra 1, but only 24% of these students are actually enrolled in the course. So I thought that was somewhat interesting. I don't know how we are within our system, but it went on to say the long-term effects on students' education. Algebra 1 is considered the gatekeeper course to advanced math and science courses. I thought the ratios were pretty interesting. And also, Education Director DeVos, she released a resource guide last week to help. It's basically for parents, I guess, to help everyone understand the ESSA Act. I haven't seen it. That's 2 pieces of information I did find, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Hodge. In general discussion, anybody got anything? All quiet, huh? All right. We'll be adjourned.